Hello, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in. I realized that last reading I just did, Trump's 2019, I'm kind of bored with the man. And if I'm kind of bored with the man, maybe you all are too. So I thought that what I might do is read on what is interesting me lately and hope that that might be what's interesting to you too. You know what's interesting to me lately? This raise in consciousness we're all having. Who could have predicted the internet would have this effect on humanity? We're understanding each other better. We're having ideas, sort of uniting us, not only across the nation, but across the globe. And that is why there's been this big effort, this concerted propaganda effort to inspire nationalism and distrust of others. Because we're all just getting way too close for the people in charge to be comfortable with that. You can't control people who are informed. You can't divide and conquer people who realize, they all kind of want the same thing. Families in Guatemala want a peaceful and safe place to raise their children where they can put food on the table and a roof over the head, and that's about what they want. Families in the U.S. want the same thing. Families in Canada, families in China, families in Japan, in Germany, in Europe, families in India, they all want the same thing. We want stability. We want safety. We want enough. So, that being said, we come to understand each other better, and we tend to vilify others less. So there's been this huge propaganda effort to get everybody to vilify refugees and foreigners and the other. But guess what? You can't keep information down. The internet is uniting us. The people, the regular people, and the more regular people who can have free access to it, the more it will unite us. So, it's also a fertile ground for new ideas, to spread teachings, philosophical teachings, spiritual teachings. There is a new interest in spirituality, not religion. Not that religion is not part of it. For a lot of people it is. But spirituality. And we're learning about miracles. We're learning about quantum physics. We're learning about parallel dimensions. We're learning. All of these questions are being shared and talked about. We don't have a lot of facts, but we sure have people sharing their thoughts on it. And we have a raise in consciousness. Will this continue, Spirit? That's what I want to know. Will we continue to be unified as a species? That's what I want to know. Look at that. Yes, yes. And this 10 of Cups. Okay, that's a completion card. And the 10 of Cups is exactly what I was talking about. This is what everybody wants. They want a safe place. They want a decent environment. They want clean water. They want a safe place to raise kids or see their grandchildren being raised or their nieces and nephews being raised. They want to, most people don't need a huge home. They just want a humble abode, That's what people want. But they want that sense of security that the 10 of Cups is about. I also get this card a lot when Spirit is trying to tell me that it's not just the people who are living on this earth right now that we're talking about here. Our loved ones, others, they continue to exist. There are parallel dimensions. We are not that far from those others and their family and loved ones too. this consciousness, this source that we're all a part of. We're in a time of understanding that better, of getting that better, and meditating. Ooh. I'm really getting into meditation more than ever. Mindfulness. Sort of tapping into that reality where we are eternal beings and we are okay and we will be okay. That ability to rise above the concerns of this temporary physical existence. That is there for each and every one of us. And it's there right now. I mean, I'm telling you guys, right now, if you were to turn off the TV after watching this video, no, turn it off now, whatever. But if you were to turn off your TV or your device and open up your consciousness and practice some meditation. Heck, there are videos on how you practice meditation, and give it time. It's there for us now, that opening of our third eye, that mindfulness, letting go of worrisome thoughts, letting go of whatever thoughts drift in, just letting them drift on out too, and keeping our mind open to the beauty and the joy and the love and the truth, welcoming that, the peace. However it works for you as an individual, I encourage you to explore this. There is so much on the internet about this. This truly is the way to live, you guys. In mindfulness, it truly is. Sometimes it's not our external circumstances that need to change, it's our experience of them. These are the kinds of ideas, practiced by yogis, practiced by teachers in ancient times. These are the kinds of ideas that are being shared, and they will continue to be shared. We are heading into a time of raised consciousness. Gosh, we even have scientists. I don't know if any of you have seen the studies on near-death experiences and people coming back after minutes being clinically dead, sometimes many minutes clinically dead, and many of them, a significant proportion of them, reporting similar experiences of ongoing consciousness, which makes scientists think, well, are we our brains, or is our mind something that is not completely accounted for by our physical brain activity? So it's interesting. Is our mind a physical thing? Is our mind an other thing? So we have all these ideas being talked about. We have good news. We all need good news. This is good news for people. This is hope for people. And it's a night. We're already making progress in this. Yes, this will continue. It will. We have new goals for new health. I feel like the Page of Wands, a lot of times that's about new goals for our health. We are having to think about our health more because we're not healthy in the U.S. anyway. We're not. A lot of nations do better than we do with this. But we're having to think about the value of our health and how to improve our health. And that is involved it too. That gets people thinking about mindfulness. That's a motivator. The Earth Mother, the Queen of Coins. Yeah. We all want that security too. We are all driven by very similar things, and the environment becomes very important, and it becomes a unifying force, I think, in the years to come, you guys, because we need to protect our environment together. You guys, I think this effort, we've seen some shadowy forces and organizations and individuals involved in to divide and to encourage nationalism, I think that's going by the wayside in the future, because we do have to come together for many reasons. And you can't keep information hidden, not when it's out there like this. People will raise holy heck. And it's part and parcel of their big businesses, so they can't say you can access the World Wide Web to make money for us, but then it's over. You know how well that works. That doesn't work. Okay, worry. We find that meditation is indeed the remedy for worry and sleeplessness and insomnia. Mindfulness is indeed, develop, and anybody can do it. Anybody can develop that ability to live in the moment and not occupy our brains with what's occurred in the past and what's occurring in the future that we worry about. We can't do anything about those things. Those things are not real. The past that we're remembering is a confabulation of what actually happened. We're focusing on certain parts of it that were probably not that dominant, but that's what our brain is choosing to pick out of the past. Sometimes we do that to torment ourselves. We're looking into the future and worrying about things. The vast majority of what we worry about never happens. The truly difficult things in our lives are usually things we couldn't predict, right? They just kind of come. So it's a waste of time to worry. So really, our power is in this present moment. That's the only one we can do anything about. That's the only reality that is real. Actually, and we don't know how real that is when we think about the other dimensions that are unseen by the human eye. So why are we worrying? The meditation. Oh, yeah. We can ask for help too, you guys. A lot of people feel like, I felt like spirit is a force. It's a force. But I don't think spirit has any problem with coming to us in a form of another being. And there are our loved ones too. There are beings, that can help us. We are not alone. We are not alone. And we can ask for help when we don't know how to meditate. We can ask for help from beyond. I've always just asked for help from that force that is all good and all loving and all truth. Only goodness, only love, and only truth. All that. All power, all strength. All those good things. And let's see, we've got the Tower. I think that's spiritual experiences. There can be towers. We can be loved. See, this Knight of Cups, he comes bearing love. He is a suitor. He is somebody who comes with good news. He's someone who makes us feel good. That's why the cup. He makes us feel good. He makes us feel valuable. He makes us feel important. He makes us feel admired. He makes us feel loved. So, sometimes when we connect with a spiritual force that is like that, whether we're connecting with a loved one who's gone, whether we're connecting with an ascended master, like they say, whether we're connecting with God, what we consider God, that love is transformative, and it can create real tower experiences that are very good and change things forever. See, I really do believe that can happen, and I believe that happens on a spiritual level and a mind level. Yes, I find these cards very, and hope. Very reassuring. Look at this, you guys. I love it. We have hope for better health when we do this. So these are the things that motivate us to raise our level of consciousness, to come together to understand it. We do it all individually, right? We individually pursue our own spirituality, but it ends up doing something collectively as well, changing the collective vibrations. Yeah, and we learn. See, okay, this is telling me, okay, so this is supposed to be instructive, this video too, I guess. Who knew? But anyway, I guess what I'm saying is this, is sometimes receiving that love, and the most powerful way to do that is to ask for self-love and to allow it. And when we ask for that, then the barriers to that kind of come up sometimes in our subconscious. Because let me tell you guys, what occurs in our subconscious is important too. And we don't always know what's occurring in our subconscious. It does affect our reality. It affects our perception. I think it invites things into our reality that our conscious mind maybe wouldn't want to invite. You know what I'm saying? That's why the meditation and the mindfulness and the ability to observe the thoughts instead of buying into them and picking them up and worrying them like a bone, to observe them and let them go, and off into the world of, well, I'll deal with that if I need to deal with that, but right now I don't need to deal with that, and I'm not going to focus on it. Right now, here I sit, and I have enough, and my body is well, and I have peace, and I have every need taken care of. Thank you, good, thank you, thank you. Thank you, God. Thank you, whoever. Right now is not a bad place to be usually. So as we cultivate that mindfulness, we learn some things with this 6. And we learn to move out of the turbulence, out of the turbulent waters to the calmer shores. Self-love is indeed the door, I think, to a lot of these freedoms, a lot of this freedom, a lot of these awarenesses, a lot of these transformative spiritual moments. It is self-love. There is nothing wrong with asking for self-love and opening yourself up to the love that the universe has for you. Because let me tell you, the time I've spent with Spirit, oftentimes tears have come to my eyes when I start to tap into an understanding of just how precious every human being is to Spirit. There's so many people around us. We don't value them like we should, but in each human being, there is that bit of the divine. There is a piece of the divine. And there is so much love for each human being on the other side. No matter how confused that human being is, no matter how messed up or misguided or underdeveloped that human being is, it doesn't matter. There is huge, huge amounts of transformative love out there for that human being, to support that human being, to fill that human being with joy, to help that human being to understand that he or she is perfectly okay just the way that they are. We lean in, we fall in, we let it soak in, that transformative love that can transform our behavior and our thoughts. Yeah, the more we sink in and relax into who we are as eternal beings, the better we behave. So the answer to every problem is self-love, you guys. That might sound strange. But whenever I'm thinking of somebody who's really hurt me or who's really bothered me or who really is behaving terribly, if I start praying for that person and sending positive intentions, I know I'm pretty soon praying for that person to love him or herself, because that's where it's at. That's where the change is. Nobody ever changed through harsh punishment, guys. Nobody ever found the strength to see their faults by being beaten down or criticized. We can only do that from a place of self-love and self-acceptance. Then we somehow find the strength spiritually to look at the worst in ourselves and not be, completely dysregulated by that, Maybe even we laugh at it. Maybe we'll even chuckle and think how silly am I? But that self-love is the key. That is the key. It's the basis of all humility. Yeah. I'm going to clarify this 9 as well. 8 of Pentacles, 8 of Coins. My goodness, we become much more productive. We certainly do. We find that we have a lot more energy to manifest a lot more when we have security that we are supported by a caring and a loving spiritual reality. When we can trust that, I feel like it's relational, you guys. I don't know. I mean, mindfulness is so neat and meditation is so wonderful, but my main freedom has not only come through that, but my moments of freedom have come through, it's a relational interaction for me. The universe is love. It's all love. I call it God because that seems to fit for me. Whatever you want to call it, it is love. And you are infinitely precious to it. And you are everything to it. And when you can call upon that kind of force to take care of you, to provide for you, to transform something in your subconscious you've noticed, some insecurity, some resentment, what have you, these 9 of Swords, whatever's keeping you up at night. And when you can do that and truly trust that miracles will happen for you in that department, you can focus on the present. Truly trust that good things will happen. This is why I always say journal, because sometimes you need to record those good things that do happen as a result of prayer. And trust. It's not just prayer. It's not just beseeching. It's accepting and receiving and believing. See, that's just it. What's in our subconscious can be a barrier to having our prayers answered, you guys. It can. Because if we're saying it with our mouths, but underneath it all is a lot of self-doubt and feeling like we don't deserve it, it's not going to happen, We get what we feel like we deserve. Unfortunately, we get what we feel like we deserve in our subconscious. That is why we do need to use meditation, journaling, prayer, whatever it takes to help to expose what's going on in our subconscious and let that go too. We need to take time to set it aside. The good news is, I do believe that there is an incredible other, it's not another, it's us too, but it's bigger than us. We're part of it, but there is an incredible energy and force and people who love us, beings who love us, who will help to answer our prayers. You bet they will, if it is good for us and if our subconscious agrees and it receives it. We can have what we believe and what we'll receive. The trick is learning to receive. In any case, when we surrender our worries and our cares and our concerns, what we don't feel like we have the power to do anything about on our own, to that loving force that we're a part of, but is bigger than us, then we can focus on the present moment. We can, feel pretty darn good because we can actually use our minds to be more productive, to bring good things into our lives that have eluded us before this. Yes. And 9 of Cups, we get our wish. See, that's just it too. We can do something about our climate. We can do something to increase security for all families. We can do that. We can have our wish. This is a possibility. This can happen. And I feel like I'm being led right now to say it will happen. Yeah, it will. This reading is telling me it will. And good times, good partnerships, celebration, hopefulness, health, thriving. This can be ours. This age of information, we are sharing the truths that aren't necessarily in textbooks. And it's catching on like wildfire, you guys. I think we have every reason to be hopeful. So thank you so much for sharing that with me. And I agree with all of you who would receive that. Moving into a new time in our evolution as a species. Thank you. Bye-bye.